Woodmansee. Let's go live to the stadium in Bismarck, North Dakota. It's time for Overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Thank you, Nick Hallberg, and good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. We are live from the Stadium Lodge. Glad to have you aboard this morning on the PSP Network. As well, today we've got a modified show for you. Stay tuned for next week as well. I will be out of town, so hopefully we can get Todd Domries or somebody to jump in and bring in overtime. Otherwise, if that's not the case, well, we'll just move it on into the following week. And today, as we said, a modified show. The reason for that, we're cutting it about a half hour early, as we've got to make the trek out to New Salem. As today on the PSP Network, we will have a couple of games for you on the PSP Network. It's going to be New Salem, Elmont, the Holsteins hosting Mott Regent, New England, in a 9-man second-round playoff game, as both these two should be a lot of fun out in New Salem. Both those two teams met the last game of the season, but certainly the Wildfire in a big win, putting up some big points last week as they rolled over the Imperials from Napoleon Gackle Streeter last week. But before we get into those 9-man playoffs, let's tell you what we've got coming up for you here this morning. We're going to talk with majority. We're going to talk a little football, but we'll mix a little basketball in there as well. We'll talk with Taylor Teskey. He's the head coach of the Des Lacs Burlington Lakers as they get set to host Shiloh Christian tonight or this afternoon up in Des Lacs. We'll visit with him, and then we'll go down to the southwest part of the state, talk to one of our favorite guys, certainly a guy that worked with us a little bit. We'll talk with the head football coach of the Bulldogs from Bowman County, Nick Walker, and his team, boy, on a mission as they go up their last regular season win, a big one at that, as they knocked off the Beulah Miners. Then we'll transition close to the 11 o'clock hour. We'll talk with Rick Newman. I know we had a few minutes with Rick last week, excuse me, but we were unable to get him for the full 10 to 12 minutes that we certainly like to get him, and we didn't get a chance to talk about his basketball team. They've started practice and what to expect this year. I know they got a good get as young lady Megan Zander from Mandan is going to be part of that Mary program this year. We'll talk a little bit more in depth with Rick Newman, and then we'll talk with Todd Sheldon as the 2A playoff schedules have come out. And the Mandan Braves, a big win on Thursday, game you saw right here on the PSP Network over the Legacy Sabres. They will have to travel to Fargo-Shanley in the opening round there. And then we'll round up the show. We'll talk a little junior college basketballs. We'll talk with Jim Jeske. Their season, they're getting underway as well, and always fun to talk with Jimmy and see what he's got in store this year for the Mystics. And that'll do it for the short hour-and-a-half show this morning. But as we talked about, we'll run through the playoff structure coming up as all of the regular seasons have come to a close on the football side. And today, coming up in the round 2 of the 9-man football playoffs, it'll be Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion, and Mayport CG. That'll be a 1 o'clock kick at Lemoore. Lemoore, the number 1 seed. Hettinger Scranton, they'll play host to the Storm. From Grant County Flasher. That'll be a 2 o'clock kick Hettinger time as that's in the and then this is all the upper bracket. And then Bottineau will host the Cougars from North Prairie. That'll be a 2:30 kick. And then Nelson County will play host to St. John's. That'll be a 2 o'clock kick up in Lakota. In the bottom half of the bracket, as we mentioned, the number 2 seed, New Salem Elmont. They're hosting Mott Regent in New England. We'll have that for you right here on the PSP Network. A 2 o'clock kick will go on with our pregame show right around 1:40. Up in Crosby, Divide County, well, they're playing host to Lewis and Clark, coming off a big win last week over Kenmare Bullbills Burke Central, 26-6. That'll be a 1 o'clock kick up in Crosby. And then Cavalier, they're going to play host to Wyndmere Lidgerwood Cavalier, the number 3 seed in the 9-man playoffs, and that'll be a 2:30 kick, and then a 1 o'clock kick up in Surrey, as Surrey, the number 6 seed, will play host to Ray Powers Lake on the 9B side of things. On the 11B side of things today, well, this is the opening round for the 11B, and it will be Hillsborough Central Valley hosting Lisbon. Hillsborough Central Valley, the number 1 overall seed there. That'll be a 1 o'clock kick in Hillsborough. Central Cass, they're going to play host to Harvey Wells County. They'll kick that one at 1 o'clock. Bishop Bryan and Hazen, a game that you will hear on the PSP network. That'll be a 6 o'clock kick at Herb Parker Stadium. Bishop Bryan, the number 4 seed. And then it will be Beulah and Velva Garrison at 2 o'clock kick at Beulah High School as Beulah plays host to Velva Garrison. That is the upper half of the bracket. The bottom half, Kindred, the number 2 seed, will host Thompson, a 1 o'clock kick down in Kindred. And then Langdon area Edmore Munich, they will, Region 2, number 2 seed, will host the Region 1, number 3 seed, the Oaks Tornadoes. That'll be a 2 o'clock kick in Langdon. And then Bowman County, they'll play host to Ned Rose. That'll be a 1 o'clock kick down in Bowman County. And then, as we talked about, DLB will play host to Shiloh Christian. DLB, the Region 3, number 2 seed, and Shiloh, the Region 4, number 3 seed. They'll kick that at 1:30. That sets you up for the 11B side of things. On the 11A side of the football bracket, well, those have been determined, and they will look like this. Next, that will be next Friday night as the 11B side, the 11A side, they have moved their games to Friday, so it'll look like this. St. Mary's, the number 1 overall seed, will host the Firebirds from Devil's Lake. That'll be a 7 o'clock kick up at Schmeeker Field. And then the 4 and 5 seeds, Fargo South, will play host to Dickinson. That'll be a 7 o'clock kick in Fargo. On the bottom half, Jamestown, the number 2 seed, will host Grand Forks Red River, the number 7 seed. That'll be no time has been set for that one. That'll be in Jamestown. And then the number 3 seed, Fargo North, will play host to the Wahpeton Huskies, the number 6 seed in Fargo. So that sets you up on the 11A side of things. And then on the 11-2A side of things, the brackets will go like this. No surprise here, West Fargo Cheyenne. They are the number 1 seed. They will host the Minot High Magicians. That'll be next Friday night as well. Minot, the number 8 seed, based on the QRF. Shanley will host the Mandan Braves, the 4 and 5 seeds there in the upper half of the bracket. The bottom half, well, it'll be a crosstown rivalry again next Friday night at the Community Bowl as Century, the 2 seed, will host the Demons, the 7 seed. And then it'll be West Fargo hosting Bismarck Legacy, 7 o'clock at West Fargo. West Fargo, the 3 seed, and Bismarck High, the number 6 seed. So that sets you up for all the football playoffs. And again, stay tuned to the PSP network as we'll be able to set you up with some of those games as they come along. And again, we've got to base our schedule, on certain viewability and such, but certainly we'll bring you whatever we can right here on the PSP network. The state Class B boys and girls cross-country meet was run yesterday, and congratulations to Bowman County as Bowman County wins the overall team side of things. And also congratulations to Ian Bush from Beulah Hazen as he wins it in a time of 16:23 over Christian Brist from Hillsborough Central Valley. Bush was 10 seconds faster as Brist was at 16:33. So congratulations to those on the Class B girls side of things. The overall team total, that went to rugby as rugby, the number wins the Class B team side of things with 112 points. Kindred in at 148 points, followed by Mayport, CG, Hillsborough Central Valley, and Grafton, your top 5 on the girls' side. We can also tell you on the boys' side, those top 5. Bowman County 1, Newtown at 2, Kindred 3, Hillsborough Central Valley in at 4, and Beulah Hazen comes in at 5. So congratulations to Beulah Hazen as they've got that number 5 overall place on the cross-country side. On the individual side of things on the girls' side, well, it was a young lady from Des Lacs, Burlington, Bryn Hansen, an 8th grader. I remember watching her last year in the state track meet, and boy, I tell you what, does she have a bright future for DLB as she wins it in a time of 1926 over Amelia Shepard from Rugby at 1941. While local gal Weston Hanna comes in 3rd from Shiloh at 1947. So congratulations to those teams as well. And today, down in Jamestown, well, it is time for the Class A boys and girls to get after it on the cross-country track as they will start that around 2 o'clock today. As we said, down in Jamestown, another big day. Williston, the defending girls champion. The Coyotes will be the favorite. Bismarck High and Minot will also contend in that one. And the boy Century, they're the reigning champion, but Williston and Bismarck High will be strong contenders as well. So, boy, I tell you what, that should be a fun state meet down in Jamestown to round out this year's cross-country season. As we talked about a couple games that you heard on the PSP network this week, you heard the Legacy and Mandan game. Mandan coming from behind wins that 32-28, and then Century pitches a shutout over Minot 27-0. On the eastern side of things, game last night, Jamestown again, Devils Lake. Jamestown had to go to overtime to beat Devils Lake as they defeated them 13-7. And then St. Mary's earlier this week defeated Watford 41-2, and Dickinson 22-8 over Turtle Mountain. So as we said, those are set, and the playoffs are in full swing. And again, certainly looking forward to today out in New Salem as the Holsteins certainly are a team that is going to be contended with. And at the start of the year, wasn't quite sure where this football team is going to be. But, boy, I tell you what, they certainly are a team that are going to be able to be contended with. But don't count out Mott Regent New England. Last week was the first time in I think it's 4 years that they were able to host or to get back into the playoffs. And they won it in fine fashion as they put up 66 points against Napoleon Gackle Street and win it 66-42. And so, as we said, New Salem Elmont and Mott Regent New England met before. But I'm guessing you can expect a lot of different things as head coach Nate Zachman of the Wildfire. I'm sure he's going to throw out everything he's got in the playbook against this New Salem Elmont team who was good up front, fast. And so it's going to be a lot of fun out in New Salem. And I'm guessing that the cars are all lined up out around the football field. And we're going to it's going to be a great environment coming up next week, or coming up this afternoon out in New Salem. And also, as we said, Scotty Cattell and Nick Holberg, they will be at Herb Parker Stadium, where Minot Ryan will play host at Hazen right here on the PSP network. So lots of football coming your way. And stay tuned, as we said, usually Mondays, between Monday and Tuesday, we are able to set what lineup we will have. Again, next week, a lot more options. We've got the 2A in action. We've got the A in action. So just stay tuned to the PSP network, and we will certainly be able to bring that to you as to what games we will be able to bring across on the network. Hey, and again, if you're looking for a place today to come up and watch some college football, the Bison get underway this afternoon. Missouri State, that'll be a 2:30 kick there. University of North Dakota, well, they are back home, and they're just trying to rebound after as UND getting ready. Let's find out. Western Illinois, the Leathernecks in town. That'll be a 1 o'clock kick up at the Alaris Center. Western Illinois 1-6, University of North Dakota 2-4. So UND trying to get back on track here after a couple tough road losses for Bubba and the Fighting Hawks. We'll take our first time out on the PSP Network. When we come back, we'll talk a little football with the head coach of the Deluxe Burlington Lakers, Taylor Teskey. Back with more after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores! PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BMC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options, and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking up and not having to reach for your glasses? See clearly with LASIK from Bismarck LASIK. Imagine no more hassles or expenses of glasses and contacts. At Bismarck LASIK, our highly experienced LASIK surgeon, Dr. Stephen Wexler, and our state-of-the-art clinic can improve your vision through a quick corrective procedure that's affordable and life-changing. Book your free consultation with Bismarck LASIK. Call 701-222-2020, 701-222-2020, or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
This live digital radio broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Subway, Hub International Insurance, The Medicine Shop, Bismarck State College, Bobcat of Mandan, Tires Plus, Chuppy Chiropractic Clinic, Bismarck LASIK, and Planning Team Financial Advisors. Make sure to stay up to date with all things high school athletics at psp.network. Make sure to like and follow PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Well, welcome back to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network as we are live from the Stadium Lodge in Northwest Bismarck. Hey, looking for a place to watch some football this afternoon, or just grab a bite to eat. Full-service menu, make the Stadium Lodge your home here this afternoon. Well, speaking of football, well, there's a lot of football that's going to be on TV. There's going to be a lot of football that's going to be played around the state this afternoon. And one of those gentlemen that will be involved in a first-round playoff game, joining me right now, it's the head coach of the Delax Burlington Lakers, Taylor Teskey. Taylor, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning. So far, so good this morning. Thanks for having me on, Scott.
No, the nerves haven't quite set in yet, have they?
Not too bad. We just finished up with a team breakfast, actually. So boys are up and at 'em and ready to get to work, I think.
Hey, Taylor, before we get into talking about, what's in store for you this afternoon, and I mean, not that you probably want to rewind, but let's take you back. You're in your second season at the helm of this football team, and boy, I tell you what, Taylor, your first season as the head coach is, I'm sure that you've been an assistant for a number of years with this program, but as the head coach, it's one that you certainly probably won't forget, but want to forget. I mean, just talk about how this year has really just been probably so much easier for you as a head coach versus the things that you had to battle in your first year with this pandemic.
For sure. That first year was definitely new for everybody, whether you're a coach for 30 years or your first year. Everyone was just day to day. You didn't know kind of what news you were going to have. And we definitely, we lost our freshmen for a couple of weeks. So practice was difficult with low numbers and things like that. So just kids in and out of the lineup. We had a couple starters that were quarantined and things like that. So this year on that aspect has definitely been more smooth. We've definitely had more injuries this year, though. We've had some guys lost for the season, some starters, but the younger kids have stepped up and filled positions and roles. And a couple big overtime wins earlier in the year that really kind of helped get the ball rolling.
Yeah, and Taylor, certainly I'm sure, too, for the kids, it was nice when this season, it started. It was a situation where, we're still dealing with some of the effects, but really not quite to where it was. But I'm sure it was just really refreshing, going back to August, when this team and an experienced group that you had coming back was just able to take the football field and conduct a practice in somewhat normal fashion.
No, for sure. Yeah, the normalcy was definitely nice to get back to. And like you said, we returned a pretty good group and core of players that were kind of just excited that they wouldn't go home with bad news and just football be taken away from them and things out of their control and things like that.
Yeah, as and you start this season out, and anytime you can bring back 7 kids on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball, Taylor, that's a pretty good place to start, because all that tells you there is you got to find 4 kids that are going to be able to step in and fill those roles and become a major part of of your offense and defense. And I'm guessing as we sit here and talk today, based on the season that you have, that you were able to do that. I mean, are you feeling comfortable, with what you have going into this opening round playoff game today with Shiloh?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I was proud of how some of those young kids stepped up. Everyone's filled their roles. Like I said, we've had a couple injuries. Our starting quarterback went down, starting center. Obviously, those are 2 key pieces, but the kids that have stepped into those roles have done an amazing job. I couldn't expect anything more from those players. And, Shiloh's a great team. Obviously, they're a 3 seed, but technically they're still kind of a 1 seed. They had a 3-way tie over there. And They have a great record. They're big, strong, physical. They got some speed, got some athletes. So it's going to be a good test for us today, and it should be a good, close, hard-fought game.
Yeah, and talk about your quarterback. And I just got to confirm that these numbers are right. Is this 6'7", 210 Carson Neal? Are those numbers about right, or did we inflate those numbers a little bit?
No, those are right. But that was the one that went. That's the one that went down. So Paxton Eastos, the sophomore, has been running quarterback since week 2. And he is not 6'7", 210.
and so when you talked about it, and I bring it up as he was one of those young men returning, he passed for 500, almost 600 yards last year and 5 touchdowns. Was this an injury to Carson that you lost him for the season, Taylor?
Yes, yep. He had an issue with his leg, and he is unfortunately done for the season. We're hoping that he's obviously a big player to the basketball team too, so we're hoping his recovery goes well, and hopefully he can make it back for at least that sport for him.
Yeah, and then you talk about another young man. Obviously, you don't want to leave anybody out because it takes 22 guys, 11 on the offense, 11 on the defense to have the success that you've had this year. But Caleb Rist, 5'10", 185. A guy that last year carried the ball almost 180 times for almost 1,500 yards and 18 touchdowns. And boy, I tell you what, talk about what this young man means to your football team.
Well, for sure, he's kind of the heart and soul, especially on the offensive side of ball. He's already surpassed the 185 carry mark this year, which we expect a lot out of him. I kind of feel sorry after the game when I see how many times I handed the ball off to him. But, no, he loves it. He's a guy that gets better as the game goes on, and he's a physical runner. And you can kind of tell that come fourth quarter, a lot of teams don't want to tackle him anymore because he runs with such physicality.
Well, we're talking with Taylor Teskey, the head coach of the Des Lacs Burlington Lakers out of Region 3. Finished number 2 there, 7-1, 8-1 overall, right behind Minot Ryan. And as you look at Taylor, as you look at today, you get set, and I go back to one of the things you talked about at the start of the year was you just missed the playoffs last year. You've accomplished goal number 1. You've gotten these kids into the playoffs this year, and obviously I'm sure goal number 2 is to win a football playoff game, and goal number 3 is to win another one, and goal number 4 is to win the final one in the Dakota Bowl. But obviously, it's a situation you take it game by game. And do you feel, Taylor, that as you get set to take on Shiloh today, that you guys might be playing your best football of the season?
I definitely have that feeling. We had some big wins. Win against Velva the last week of the year was a big win for our program. It's been a couple of years. Velva's always traditionally very strong, very well coached. So that was a big win, just confidence-wise for the boys to kind of get over that hump there. And yeah, like you said, kind of the Jimmy V quote, survive and advance. I know that was college basketball there, but same thing. Everybody, I think the 11B division is pretty wide open. There's no undefeated teams, and all the teams left are very good. And again, you just have to be the better team for those 48 minutes, play mistake-free, and play your best football and kind of see where the chips where they lie.
Yeah, as today, again, you play host to Shiloh Christian. You touched a little bit on Shiloh Christian, and what's the key for you guys today to get that win against Shiloh? What are a couple things that you guys have to do well against this football team?
Well, they're definitely bigger than us, but most teams we play are bigger than us. We don't have a whole lot of size, but what I preach every week is just physicality. We got to be the more physical team. Like I said, they got a couple great athletes, the Fagerlund kid, and then the quarterback, a couple sophomores that have lots of speed. So limiting the big plays. We can't let them get out and have a bunch of big plays on us. And again, we got to be physical, be able to move the ball a little bit, and we should give ourselves a good shot to be in the game.
Well, yeah, and nonetheless, the one thing, I guess, if you talk about one advantage that you do have going in today is you get to host a playoff game, and how big is that? Anytime when you get into the playoffs, when you're doing that, that things went right during the regular season, but it's always good to have the home crowd right behind you in your own backyard to make things just a little bit tougher for the Skyhawks.
No, for sure. Yeah, it's nice not having to travel, not having to get the boys up early. Most kids aren't too fond of getting up too early in the morning. So it's nice that they can sleep in their own beds and kind of keep that same routine.
Well, certainly, Taylor, congratulations on a great regular season, and best of luck to you this afternoon, as certainly it'll be a big one, it'll be a fun one, and hopefully the Lakers can come out with a victory this afternoon. All right, thanks for the time, my friend, and good luck this afternoon.
Sounds good. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. You have a good afternoon as well.
All right, you too, buddy. Take care. Taylor Teske, the head coach of the DLB Lakers, as they get set to host Shiloh Christian this afternoon up in Des Lacs, Burlington, so it should be a fun one. We'll try to follow that for you throughout the day as well. But DLB and Shiloh Christian on the 11B side of things. We'll take another timeout, and when we come back, we'll stay on the same train as we'll go down and we'll talk with the winners of Region 4, the head coach of the Bowman County Bulldogs, Nick Walker, next right here on the PSP Network. Back with more after this timeout.
Do you remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3, on low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network, it's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options, and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking up and not having to reach for your glasses? See clearly with LASIK from Bismarck LASIK. Imagine no more hassles or expenses of glasses and contacts. At Bismarck LASIK, our highly experienced LASIK surgeon, Dr. Stephen Wexler, and our state-of-the-art clinic can improve your vision through a quick corrective procedure that's affordable and life-changing. Book your free consultation with Bismarck LASIK. Call 701-222-2020, 701-222-2020, or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Well, thank you, Nick Hallberg, and welcome back once again to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Glad to have you aboard here on the PSP Network, as we certainly look forward to, come and make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon up here at the Stadium Lodge. High school football going on, and you name it, they've got it for you up here. Full-service menu, and, they'll take care of you up here at the Stadium Lodge as we roll into our next guest as we stay on the football side of things, and it's a guy that certainly we've got the utmost respect for, a gentleman that had the opportunity to work with this radio crew, whether good or bad or ugly, but nonetheless, it's always fun to talk with the head coach in his second year of the Bowman County Bulldogs, Nick Walker. Coach, good morning. How's the weather down in Bowman County this morning?
Well, what is, I told you off air, I'm just deciding if I'm going to be in the booth or on the field today. It's pretty chilly and windy down here today. So.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. But nonetheless, hey, it's always a great day for a football game this time of the year on a Saturday morning. A little chill in the air, but nonetheless, it's not going to hold anybody back from coming out and supporting the Bulldogs.
No, it's one thing that I've respected ever since we moved down here is our student body and our community really supports our kids and all they do. I'm proud of our football team and more so proud of our community for supporting our kids and all they do.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. Ned Rose comes in today, but we'll talk more about that as we move here with Coach Walker. And Nick, I guess first and foremost, as we do, let's go back to the start of this football season, and which seems like it was forever ago, and all of a sudden now we're at the playoffs. But I guess more importantly, Nick, it was a situation of, I tell you what, when you started this year versus last year, you had some sort of normalcy to start this football season out. And it had to just be kind of a breath of fresh air for you and your coaching staff, not to mention the young men on your football team.
Yeah, I think so. I think when we started way back in August, it was just nice to turn on our PVC pipe and let the kids get a drink out of a trough instead of having to calculate how many times they went to their water bottles and everything like that. But I think the normalcy has been good for kids. I think normalcy's been good for everybody. Thankful for all the administrative things that go on behind the scenes to make all this stuff possible. But you couldn't have said any better. It's been a heck of a lot better ride this year than it was a year ago.
Yeah, it was. And this year rolls around. Last year you finished 5-3 overall. The region 5-2 in the region, and then a loss in the opening round to Velva, 28-20. But a new year, new season, and Nick, tell the folks up here, that have not had a chance to see this Bowman County team. What kind of football team have you have, and how have you guys evolved from the start of that first game this season?
Well, I think coming into the year, we knew we'd be a little bit short up front. We had graduated a lot of our big kids in the 3 years I've been down here, and then we had two of our other ones move right before the season started, about July 27th. Two brothers moved, and so we were basically at the bare bones up front. We've had to have so many kids step up, Woody. But just as far as us, we like to spread, but we're a run-first team. We've got one tailback, a sophomore kid, Bishop Duffield, that's got over 900 yards rushing on the season. Another sophomore kid, Riggs Rodenberg, that's got over 400. And then we've got a quarterback. He's a 2-year starter now in Quade Lardy, and he's really come into his own this year. He's completing 79% of his passes. He's got over 2,200 yards and 22 touchdowns. We have Clay Heimer returning all-state safety, but he's got 81 catches on the year. Had a phenomenal season. Brody Headley, another senior receiver, has 39 catches on the year. But really, Woody, where we've made our hay is on the defensive side of the football, and that's where we had the most question marks coming into the season. Last week when we went up to Beulah, we started 10 out of the 22 starting positions were sophomores, and 5 of those were on defense. And so we've bent a little bit. We've given up some yardage. But we've got a really, really good secondary, which allows us to be a little bit more aggressive against the run. And just really, Woody, I've been doing this now, I think, for 19 years. And this team might be the one that takes the cake for the team that's improved the most from, and I'll go back to our football camp at the end of July until now. This team has really grown both individually and collectively as a group.
Wow, I'll tell you what, it's certainly, I mean, when you talk about a lot of sophomores as well, too, I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, and you don't normally, Woody, you know this, you don't normally play that many sophomores in a violent physical game like football, but we've got a pretty good group of them. We've had to make a couple of them. Well, currently we have 2 guards that used to be a fullback and a tight end, and now they're guards. So they traded their eligible number for an ineligible number, we always joke about. And they've done a fantastic job for us.
Well, that's certainly, quite impressive, and it sounds like the future's bright down there for Bowman County. But today, I mean, Nick, you went through the season. I mean, did you expect that? 6-1, 8-1, and the big win up in Beulah? I mean, did you see that out of this football team?
Well, it's a team, Woody, that's got a pretty good inner belief. I think with any high school team, you're not going to practice well every day, they're high school kids. But they've shown up, they've done their work. Our film numbers are off the charts as far as kids watching film on their own. And they've really come together as a team. We had a setback against Shiloh down here week 5. Got beat in a close ball game, 13-6. And we have really, really improved in the next 3 weeks to get to where we are. We really improved offensively and defensively. But to sit here and say, yeah, I knew we'd be 6-1, 8-1, that'd be a lie, especially when, we only have 27 kids total, 5 being freshmen and 2 being foreign exchange kids, and so really we have 20 sophomore through seniors. And so our roster size isn't big, but the team has grown into a pretty good football team.
Well, it sounds that way, Nick, and certainly, going back to what you said, I mean, as long as you've been doing this and at the different levels you've coached and the different teams you've coached, I mean, for you to make that comment, I mean, I don't know if do a lot of these kids know your background? Maybe they don't, but that's quite a statement coming out of you, man.
Well, and I think most of them do, and we talked about a few kids in the past that, I was fortunate enough to coach in Bismarck in my time there. And then of course for the Hawks, and I refer to those guys a lot because they mean a lot to me.
Yep.
But this team's kind of created its own identity. They're a pretty happy-go-lucky bunch. I think probably the thing that I'm most proud of is they support our school. They're at every volleyball game. We had our cross-country team won a state title, which is awesome yesterday. And we've got 16, 17 of them showed up for their parade when they got home last night. And Woody, here's a fun fact for you. We do have 2 cross-country football combo kids as well. So, and both of them started inside linebacker for us.
So that's exactly why. Was there a requirement when you said you guys will be back tonight after you run this thing? Was that? I'm guessing you and the cross-country coach had a little conversation. Did you not?
Yeah, I think we just said run that 5K pretty quick and see it walk through in the morning. So, no, but I'm really, really proud of our cross-country team. Coach John or Coach Bowman do a great job, and to go back-to-back the last 2 years is amazing.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Nick, today's matchup, it seems like every time when we talk, and maybe other than last year, but for some reason it seems like over the course of the number of years you've been doing this, is that Ned Rose appears to be a common opponent. Do they not?
Yeah, and we played the first time I talked to him and moved down to Bowman, we were playing Ned Rose too. They're a quality team. Tommy Weidler's done a great job building the program from scratch, if you will.
Yep.
we've kind of given up on being bigger than anybody we play because we're not real big in stature, if you will. And they're big and physical up front. They got 2 senior linemen that lead the way for them. And they got a Bailey kid that plays tailback for him that's really good. He's had a phenomenal season. And then they run something, good old 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. We don't ever see that. And so they run something that's a little bit foreign to our kids. So it's made our staff work a little bit harder because we never see 2 tight ends anymore, and so,
sure.
and then defensively, they don't give up anything. You take a look at the games against the region opponents that made the playoffs up there, and I think they're giving up 13.5 points a game is all. So they're a very formidable opponent for us today.
Hey, was the last time you saw 2 tight ends maybe up here at the MD Resource Community Bowl? Was that probably the last time you saw that or what?
Yeah, I think it was Stanley Jones and Leighton Talmadge, if I remember right, for Bismarck High in 22 personnel.
Oh boy, 2 names certainly that you'll never that will always hold true. And hey, Nick, real quick, I just got a little bit of time left with you. What's Bowman County got to do today? What do you guys got to be really good at to come out with that victory today against Ned Rose?
Well, I think our turnaround offensively has been based on being efficient, being good on third down and taking care of the ball. We need to win field position in a day like today, Woody, with the wind blowing like it is. And then we've got to find a way to stop the run, whether it be adding another guy to the box. And then like they
As always, appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck to you guys this afternoon, and hey, hopefully we'll get a chance to see you down the way here in these football playoffs. All right.
Sounds good. And Woody, just shout out to you and TD and Chuck, and I'm so excited about the PSP Sports Network and what you guys always do for high school sports. I'm proud of all 3 of you, and keep up the good work.
Hey, buddy, appreciate it, man. Good luck this afternoon. All right, talk soon.
Thank you.
Okay, you bet. Coach Nick Walker of the Bowman County Bulldogs as his team gets set to take on Ned Rose down in Bowman County. Should be a fun one down there. Certainly, probably one of the surprise teams on the 11B side of things as they win the region title with that victory over Beulah last week up in Beulah. We'll take another time out here on the PSP Network. When we come back, we're going to switch gears. We're going to go to the hardwood. We're going to talk a little UMary women's basketball with their head coach, Rick Newman. Back with more after this timeout on the PSP Network.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3, on low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network, it's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Let's go back to the
Got big
stadium
plans?
in overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to the Stadium Lodge in overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network as, hey, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. As college football going on, Bison, University of North Dakota, full-service menu. Danny and the staff will certainly take care of you up here this afternoon at the Stadium Lodge. Well, we switch gears a little bit, and we go back to the hardwood as this past week it was Marauders Madness out at the University of Mary. Had a chance to talk a little bit with Rick Newman, their head coach, on the women's side last week. Briefly, but he had other things going on. So as we do on this show, well, we just bring him back the following week and get a little bit more insight from head coach Rick Newman. And on the line, I believe we've got Coach Newman. Rick, good morning. How are you this morning, my man?
Hey, good morning, Woody. I just want to apologize again for last week. I have no youth activities going on today, so I am free to be on the radio with you all morning long here via your network. So appreciate you keeping this show going. As we know, you got a lot of faithful listeners, and we love talking to you as often as we can.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, Coach. And, that's the one thing about this. Hey, I know things come up at last-minute situations or when things don't work, but nonetheless, we're able to bring you back. And I guess, Rick, we did chat a little bit. We kind of gave a little preview to the Marauders Madness that was coming up. That's here and gone now. And I guess really now you start to direct your full attention to that opening round game against Concordia College on November the 1st. But I guess, how was the Marauders Madness, which took place this past Thursday?
It was a really good environment that we had. Very thankful to our students in the Bismarck Mandan community who came out. I mean, as I'm sure all of your guests talk about a lot, Woody, we're kind of back to some things we weren't able to do last year. And Marauders Madness is certainly one of those events that we look forward to every year for our players. I mean, it's kind of fun to replicate All-Star Weekend, right? Have some skills challenge and three-point contest and dunk contest by the guys. We had some great dunkers this year, and we did a little mixed scrimmage up and down, guys and girls on the same teams, and just went at it for about 8 minutes to let the fans see this version of both men's and women's basketball. And we gave away some sweet prizes to some students. The first 75 in the door got a free T-shirt, plus we threw out another 40 more during the lineups, and we had pizza for everybody when they walked in. We gave out a 32-inch smart TV, Apple Watch, a speaker, Woody, and then our half-court contest, that winner got some AirPods. So, I mean, if you're thinking about a attend event for next year, Marauders Madness is this. We brought in two of the most popular guys on our campuses, the overall UMary chaplain, Father Bauk, and the athletic department chaplain, Father Vosick. They were our MCs. Man, their routine got the crowd going, and they were awesome. So I got to say, I think it was one of the best that we've ever had out there.
Well, that's certainly, I know I've been a part of that event, and certainly I know that you and the coaches, Mike Offerdahl, and that athletic staff certainly does a great job. And, Rick, I want to dive a little bit more into this team, and particularly I know we'll talk about as many as we possibly can, but, the one thing that I heard come out of that in talking with a few people that came out of that Marauder Madness was, boy, Megan Zander is really good.
Are you sure that wasn't me? Because I think I say that about 5 times a practice right now. But yeah, you're right, Woody. I guess it's a good thing about coaching, right? We can both evaluate talent right there with the people that watch that and me. So maybe they won't be on me quite as bad sometimes, huh? But no, it just what a great deal. Like here's what I have kind of been telling my confidants and people that ask about the team, which is a lot, which is cool to have someone local come back and what that brings to your program. But, it's been a long time since we've had someone on the perimeter that can just kind of get their own shot without a lot of help. Like Macy Williams can do it, but I mean, she can get to her pull-up. Like she's got elite preparation in her footwork and get into her pull-up. So I don't want to discredit her, but Megan's got the shiftiness where she can finish around the rim. She can still hit the pull up, and she sometimes can work you into even just keep her dribble alive and go to a little post up. So she's had some moves where it's been one dribble and then bam, it's behind the back and she's at the rim before anyone can react. And so I think kind of, Woody, we talked a lot. I think last year towards the end of the year was a crazy year. All the things happened. If you had a great year, you said, man, our girls really overcame all the COVID issues and we persevered and we were awesome. And if you had a meddling year like we did, you said, man, COVID was hard on us and we got hit at this time. You just you spun the narrative however you wanted to spun it because everybody had COVID restrictions and things, and there's a lot of truth behind it. But, we're all PR guys as coaches, right?
Exactly.
But when I looked at it at the end of the year, I mean, we didn't know how many of our seniors would come back for their super senior year, and Macy was the only one who did for good reasons. I mean, Lauren was around for a long time. She was the second leading scorer in the league last year as a full-time fourth grade teacher in Bismarck public schools. So I get that one. And Coral Gillette just had some things where it just didn't make sense for her to come back. And we understand that. So honestly, when I looked at the St. Clouds and Duluth and even Bemidji as, three of the last four teams standing in the Northern Sun tournament last year, they brought every single kid back this year because they were all old. They should bring them back. And they looked at each other and said, hey, we can make a run at this thing. Let's do it again.
Yep.
And so when I looked at our freshman class, our younger kids, only bringing Macy back as a super senior, I thought, okay, we got to commit to maybe not a rebuild, but let's make sure we play a bunch of kids this year and be ready because, their run's going to come to an end.
Yep.
And we want to be ready for when it is.
Yep.
Well, then you're sitting here in May and I'm outside in the backyard playing catch with my kid. And I pull up Twitter while he's chasing a ball I threw over the fence, right? And I'm like 30 seconds late to Megan Zander being like, hey, I'm going into the transfer portal. And I was like, whoa. So I had to confirm with compliance that she was in there. But I guarantee you I was the first person to see that because I was just living on that screen at that point in time. And from there, it was like a whirlwind where, get her to campus, all these different rumors, what's going to happen. We got her to visit, did it all obviously the right way. And when she decided she was going to be a Marauder, to borrow a professional term, then I kind of put the wheels in motion and thought, hey, our championship window just kind of opened back up a little bit because here's a girl that averaged 10 and 6 in the Summit League. I think that's going to play well in the Northern Sun.
And Rick, I guess that'll lead me to my next question about Megan. And certainly, there's a number of ladies on this team that are going to, lead the charge for you guys. But how big is that for her to come in, having played in that conference that she did in the Summit, pretty good conference, but just her experience that she was able to develop in those first couple of years?
Yeah, I think it was great. Last year she played the point guard for the entire year, and oftentimes it was her at the end of a shot clock going to get some things done. And so I think that improved her skill set. But Woody, what I do have to say is, we've had some individual meetings with everybody. We're kind of gearing up, a week left, trying to look at, roles, rotations, all those different things. And if you ask any one of our girls, they're always happy when we get good players back because they want to win. So they know good players help you win. We don't have a girl in our program that shies away from competition. So we never had one person be like, oh man, now maybe I won't play. I thought I was gonna. That's not been an issue. But if you talk to our older girls who've been around, they'll tell you that we all were kind of waiting a little bit for Megan to get her going. Like she's come in and been just the best teammate you could ever ask for. Yep. Just making simple plays, not trying, no entitlement, no attitude, no here I was Miss Basketball. No, I played D1 for 2 years. She's just come in and just from day one, she's fit in before she stood out. And then last Saturday, we did our first little divide the team into two and did a little scrimmage. And then it was with some referees. And then it was like, okay, now I'll go to work. And about 30 points later, everyone was like, yep, that's a good player. So we're excited. And again, I think just, having one, talent, but number two, having that experience of playing in a really good league and against, physical college defenders and things, that's just going to bring make this game at this level here for her. I think just her ability to fit in and go in right away, I think, is something we've all been really excited about.
Yeah, as we got a couple minutes left with Rick Newman here, and Rick, another local gal, Julia Fitter, coming out there. Certainly, we know what she's done at Century, and then Haley Schweitzer, she's a sophomore for you from St. Mary's, and another part of that freshman class is. You got Riley Watcha from Davies and Marika Hakeem from Shanley. So do you see a lot of minutes for these young freshmen?
Woody, I can't give it away in case they're listening because I haven't told them yet. But no, I do know this much. It's been an amazing fall with these young ladies, just to see their faces and their smile. There's a learning curve when you're young, but there's certainly some talent, and I definitely foresee a few of them getting some minutes for us, and it's kind of starting to play itself out. But it's really fun. I hope Fred's listening, because I remember back in the day when Fred and I first started coaching out at UMary, our shooting games were always Class A Lions All-Stars on one end, Class B Lions All-Stars on the other. We had a girl from Watertown and a girl from Billings, and we said, all right, you guys just split up. And I don't know if it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but this year kind of feels like that. Like sometimes on the court, I'll be like, all right, good job, WDA girls. You just had a 5-0 spurt, or something like that. Or I can pick on the EDC kids because we got a few more of those. And it's just, it's fun for me as a North Dakota guy who loves North Dakota basketball and has followed these guys and, know all of their coaches, to be able to send them a little clip after practice and be like, hey, here was your girl, like, why didn't you teach her to do this in high school? And it's just, I just really enjoy it. I just think we're in a great time, and we've got some really talented players on our team. And I think, Woody, as you're wrapping it up, I think really, if I was going to tell anyone, I know you're like, Tim Jacobson called me the other night and he said, I told him this line and then what I'm going to tell you. And he said, don't tell that to anyone. Just tell them you hope to compete. You hope to compete. So the wise retired, principal, assistant coach, greatest guy ever, has given me media advice. But I'm just still going to leak it out a little bit, Woody. But I just think we're going to be sneaky good. Well, I do. I think we got a real chance. Some of our kids had great off seasons, and when Lexi Schneider and Macy Williams and Megan Voigt look like new players this year, and they're ready to take that next step, I think. And then you bring in Megan Zander. I mean, that's 4 kids that our girls know are going to start day one, and we're looking for 5 through 10 right now. But I think those 4 kids are as, talented at their position as anyone in the Northern Sun. And I think we got a real chance, especially by the end of the year when we figure some things out and get some younger kids in there a little bit more. I think we got a real chance to make some noise.
I would agree with you. And hey, Rick, I'll tell you real quick, if you are going to start taking media advice from Tim Jacobson, you and I are going to have a discussion off air, because there's a lot of times where I'd walk up to him at a high school game. He goes, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Well, I always knew he was joking, because I always knew that he had something in his hip pocket that he wanted to say. But, boy, there's no greater guy, as you said. But just had to throw a little jab at Jake. But, hey, Numi, appreciate the time as always this morning, my friend. I look forward to this squad getting on the floor. And, we're going to do this again as we start diving into that season, all right?
You bet. Can't wait, Woody. Enjoy the rest of the day and have a great weekend, and we'll touch base as soon as we possibly can.
All right,
out anytime.
You too, Numi. Take care, buddy. Rick Newman, the head coach of the UMary women's basketball team. They get set for that opener against Concordia College at the McDowell Activity Center November 1st at 7 o'clock. We'll take another timeout on the PSP Network. We come back. We'll roll to the gridiron again. We'll talk with the head coach of the Mandan Braves, Todd Sheldon, back with more after this timeout on the PSP Network.
Do you remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zzz, zzz?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3, on low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @the PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial. Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to the Stadium Lodge and Overtime with Scott Woodmansee on the PSP Network. Glad to have you aboard. Hey, if you're looking for a place to make your home this afternoon to watch some college football, well, make the Stadium Lodge your home. Full-service menu, specials going on throughout the day. Bison UND football coming on today. Lots of high school football going on across the state, so certainly make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. Speaking of high school football, and joining me right now is the head coach of the Mandan Braves, who's getting a little R&R himself as he's going to need it. The regular season has been put to bed. And next week, they start gearing up for their opening first playoff game coming up next Friday night as the head coach of the Mandan Braves, Todd Sheldon. Todd, good morning from somewhere in South Dakota. How are you this morning?
Great. Loving the rest and relaxation down here.
Well, I'm certain. I'm sure you are, as certainly the regular season, Todd, has been put to bed, and a big come-from-behind victory last week against the Legacy Sabres, 32-28, and really we'll talk more about that game. But Todd. Going back to the start of this season, back on August 26th, and it was a slow start, and it was really kind of a up and down season for you guys. I mean, you lose two, you win a couple, you lose two, you win. Just talk about the overall up and down of the regular season in this football team.
We talked to our kids a considerable amount about how football, and we feel like more than any other sport, emulates life, and life is full of ups and downs, and you've got to be ready to handle each of those every day and prepare the best you can. And when we're going through the season, there's been a lot of frustrations. There's been some high points with some victories, obviously, and there's been some low points with some defeats. And when we look at it, he said you've got to be prepared to play each day. You got to prepare for your life every day. And when you don't prepare for life every day or every play, in our case, not everything goes the way you want it. And we see that against Legacy, we felt like we played 3 quarters of football. And in some of our games, we only played 2 quarters of good football. so as you go through this, you're like, we're kind of coming around to hopefully we get to this playoff game on Friday at Shanley, and we can play four quarters of football.
Yeah, and you look though too, Todd. I mean, you look at this season, and as I go through, and you look at the 28-22 against Bismarck High, a game you had right there, 2017 against St. Mary's, and then you bounce back and Century 21-14, and then Davies 27-21, and then West Fargo 35-28. So, as you said, certainly, I mean, boy, I tell you what, I mean, you're a play and a half or maybe 2 away from tacking on about 2 or 3 more victories to this football team.
Yeah, and we tell the kids, like, at the Minot game, our preparation for that game was not very good as far as our mentality goes. And we talked about our level of maturity as a team. And I said, mature teams play 4 quarters. And we're getting there.
Yep.
It takes time to grow up. It takes time to mature. And we've got 3 sophomores that play a lot. We've got a ton of juniors that play a lot. And we've got a fairly small senior class. So as far as maturity goes, we're growing up as the season happens, but I think those are hard lessons to learn on the fly.
And you touched on it, Todd. You said about playing 4 quarters of football and 3. I mean, do you feel that, and if so, I guess it's a good time to be doing it. Do you feel that Legacy game was probably one of the more complete football games that your kids played all year long?
I think after the game, I was was probably a little hard on the offensive line in their pass set stuff, but as far as the offensive line in our run game and going back and having the opportunity to watch the film, our offensive line really played pretty well, except for maybe 3 or 4 plays through the game, and that's the group that really has to gel and work together and have great communication, and so I feel like as they're getting better, we're going to be a lot better, and that really shows when you get a kid the last 2 weeks that's had 175 plus rushing yards. That's a credit to that group of kids and that group of kids' maturity.
Yeah, boy, and I tell you what, though, in that game is you got to have big-time players, making big-time plays. And, boy, I tell you what, one young man, and certainly it takes, 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense to win the game. But, boy, I tell you what a football game that Jablonski played for you. And that, really a big defensive play, knocking that football away. I mean, just talk about what he's meant to this football team this year.
He's an extraordinarily fun kid to coach, and that's probably despite that his dad's always on the sideline taking pictures. So if he screws up, that's going to be a picture as well. So he's pretty quick to make sure that he's not going to get himself in a picture that looks bad. So he is an electric kid, really pretty mellow, laid back, and really kind of incorporates a good team atmosphere with him. That
sure.
He knows that it's not going to be the Jablonski show. It's always going to be the Mandan Braves playing football together. So he's made some spectacular plays. Fun to watch, fun to coach.
Yeah, and certainly overall your team has certainly displayed a lot of effort this year, and I don't expect anything less. As now you turn your attention, you get a few days off, and you come back and you go to the drawing board, and unfortunately you got to go on the road to Fargo Shanley, and I'm guessing maybe not yet. Maybe you have watched some game film on them, and really kind of an offense that certainly they like to spread you out, throw it around the field, and what have you seen? What have you been able to see on this Fargo Shanley team?
Well, number one, that their quarterback who played early in the year is back on the field and played against West Fargo on Thursday night, and he's a difference maker for them.
Yep.
They had a few games without him, and they were a little bit more sluggish. And so he's a kid who can make plays for him, and he may be a little bit rusty, but in the West Fargo game, but I expect him to be a real threat for them offensively. Defensively, they're just a rally to the ball group of kids. They're not big. They're not super scary looking, but God, they get 9-10 hats to the ball in every play. So our biggest factor is to get a body on a body and make sure that we're assignment sharp.
Yeah, and as you put the game plan together for this week, and I know you're not, you can't expose the whole thing on when you're talking to a number of people across state. But what's the big thing the Mandan Braves are going to look at, and maybe what do you got to be better at against this Fargo Shanley team versus what you were in the past couple games?
It's going to be the little yards things because they do rally the ball well. So making sure that kids are aware of where the first down marker is and trying to go get an extra yard can't mean going 2 steps backwards because they're going to rally to you and tackle 2 steps farther back. So we make sure we take all the yards that we give us and not try to do anything extra. That way, it ends up being we don't want 4th and 1. We want first downs.
Yeah, absolutely. And then defensively, I mean, what is this is a type of an offense that you're probably not accustomed to seeing week in and week out, and how they like to spread the field and throw it around a little bit. And defensively, what's going to be the focus for you guys on the defensive side of the ball this week?
I'm going to go with the tempo part. And if you had a chance to watch Shanley, they don't huddle. They're up on the line the whole time. They're running. It's basically no huddle the whole time. They're running a play about every 20 seconds. Once the ball is spotted, it's only 20 seconds before the ball is getting snapped. And we look at teams like, Bismarck or Century, where they're huddling every time and they're taking the full time off the clock. And it's a grinding game. Or watching Fargo Shanley, we watched their game last night on YouTube, and watching that game and seeing how methodical they are and how they're having a 10-play, 10-minute drive, and you're like, oh, that's you're taking about as much time off the clock as possible. There's not going to be a lot of extra time in those games, whereas Shanley is going to be up and down the field, and you're going to have to defend 15 plays in 5 minutes.
And how do you and as you talk about that, Todd? I mean, from a coaching perspective, I mean, how do you get your kids ready for that kind of a tempo of a football game?
We talked about a little bit earlier in the year. We'll set up 2 offenses and try to do that rapid fire as fast as we can. It's tough to run somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
And teach kids another offense in a day or two. So we'll set up 2 offenses and try to get them to go as fast as they possibly can in and out. And the good news, bad news of that is that means a whole bunch of kids are going to be at practice and they should be running the whole time. So we won't have to worry about whether it's cold or not.
No, that's for sure. As certainly it'll be a game to be looked forward to. I think as you look at those opening round matchups, Todd, just the way things have all laid out with where they are. I think that is one game that really stands out to me. That's an intriguing one. That certainly. And I don't know. I mean, is it? What do you think? I mean, is it going to be a shootout? I mean, are you going to? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to look at that and call that game.
Yeah, I would love to think that it's going to be a blowout and we're going to be able to take care of that.
Agreed. I agree with you 100% there, sir.
But on the other end of that, realistically, we're a team that's played in every game, so I expect it to be a close game. I expect it to come down to 5 or 6 plays, and whether we make those 5 or 6 plays, I think that's what it comes down to.
Yep, no question about it. I guess that's the way we'll call it, but that's certainly a game that really stands out to me that we'll keep an eye on. It should be a lot of fun next Friday night down in Fargo. Well, Todd, hey, man, appreciate the time. Sorry to disturb your R&R, but do the best to enjoy it the rest of the day and tomorrow, and then get back to work on Monday morning, all right?
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Todd Sheldon, the head coach of the Mandan Braves, getting a little R&R down in South Dakota. Much deserved for him and his coaching staff. Whether the rest of the staff is there or not, well, we don't know. But they got to go back to work on Monday as they get prepared for Fargo-Shanley coming up next Friday night. We'll take another time out here on the PSP Network. We come back. We'll talk a little after this time out on PSP Network.
Let's go. Where this goes? I don't know. I'm sure it was a clicking and not a. Your question here, Buster. Do you even have insurance? If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics. Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side, Cheddar's open, 4-3, on low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Let's go back to the stadium in overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to the Stadium Lodge in overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP network. As hey, you're looking for a home this afternoon for some college football. Hey, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. Full service menu, specials going on, TVs both sides. They'll have lots of football on for you, including the Bison and the University of North Dakota. Well, that's going to turn us into our next guest, the not football, but we're going to talk a little basketball as we have, too, a little mix between basketball and football this morning. We're going to talk with the head coach of the Bismarck State College Mystics boys basketball team. On the line is Jim Jeske. Jimmy, good morning. How are you this morning?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, you got it, Coach. Well, hey, it just seems like, to me it seems like football season just started. Now it's ending. Well, when football ends, we know what comes next, and basketball season has started. Has this thing snuck up on you like it has everybody else?
Well, it sure has, and especially after last year's shortened season. Just seems to be we're already feeling like we're in the grind already, and can't wait to play people. So. Scrimmages only do certain things, but you got to get other people in front of us.
And talk about that, Jim. Last year, obviously a different year for anybody who was in athletics or whatever, or just in general. I mean, but this year, and let's just call it, you get to get back on the hardwood. You get to get into some practices, and let's just say you're doing it with a lot more normalcy than we had last year.
Without a doubt, and I think for us. The big thing is bringing in young athletes that want to hopefully pursue their career beyond BSC in basketball. We've been able to have the 3-day lifts, normal 3-day lifts, the normal recovery time. It's been a lot easier on our athletes' bodies, and I think that's been the biggest thing. And of course, you can go slow a little bit, putting some things in, and there's more teaching and there's more time, and it feels normal. It feels regular. And I would guess that anybody that you have on a talk show now talking hoops, they're probably really excited about their guys right now. So, hey, you have me back mid-season, it might be a different story.
Well, we certainly will do that because I want to see what the varying difference is between now and mid-season. But, we talked with Rick Newman, and I know he's excited out at University of Marion, and I'm sure you are as well. But, boy, I tell you what, more importantly, you look at some of the guys that you've got coming in that are going to put a Mystics uniform on for the first time, and I go down this list, and boy, I tell you what, it just feels like watch these guys play in the WDA or the EDC, and the one guy that stands out is a guy in Deontay Martinez from Mina, Latrell Davis from Fargo, Max Chosick from Bismarck High, and then you got a sophomore, Jaden Mitzel, and boy, on and on, Carson Lamp, a guy that did so many good things for Jamestown, and boy, I tell you what, Jim, you look at this group of young men, and you got to be pretty excited with what you have to work with this year.
Well, hey, like I said, hey, we're undefeated, and we think we're going to win them all. No, we're not. But I'm just going to tell you right now what has happened with a full roster. We have another gentleman that's not on the roster because he came from another college that he will be eligible to after the semester. But the big thing for us is the competition level. I mean, we all got to watch Deontay, and we all got to watch these guys live, and I'm going to tell you the competition level in practice. I've already had to, I'm not saying we have to separate people yet, but it has been something to be desired for a coach.
Is that one of those, Jim? Is that one of those like just maybe just a little chin to chin type action, maybe?
Absolutely, we've had it, and it isn't just one night. So they get after it, but you know what? They come back, and they're only going to make other people better. And I'm gonna you talked about like Deontay and those guys and Latrell, and hey, we think that we got some from the Aiden Rabel from New England. He's coming along, and Huber Anytime you got a guy from Judd on your goddamn roster, hey, the guy just brings his lunch pail every day. And then, we got Hamilton from rugby, and we've got a real nice mix of kids. And I'm going to tell you, I've said it before. We think we got a steal in Chosick. He's been absolutely steady for us.
And as you look at that and you watch him play and I don't know, I mean, I want to give him some sort of a description to a guy like a poor man something or whatever, but he's a guy that is just going to come out every night, and we saw it when he played for Willie at Bismarck High. Each and every night, he just came out and he gave you all he had each and every night. And that leads me back to two guys. One of the guys you talked about, we had a chance to watch Huber in the state Class B, and you talk about two guys that motors don't stop, Huber, Martinez, and you could put Chosick in the mix.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you, too, I think it was a funny story, that a quick one, but he, Max missed a shot, and you should have heard some kids in the shooting lines are like, I think that's the first shot we've seen him miss. I mean, he's put in the time, and we know he does, and he's a gym rat, and and he just he's gotten himself built up. He's bigger, faster, stronger. We're excited about it. But I'm going to tell you what, too. We forget about three kids. We love the people that we got in, a bunch of freshmen. But I'm going to tell you, the two Baines boys have come back. They're excited. They came back early.
Yeah.
Seth Nelson from Carrington, I'm going to tell you what, he dropped 15 pounds. The kid looks he's in great shape. And then, of course, Mitchell has done the same. I mean, we got four sophomores that are kind of carrying us a little bit through drills and all that, and they've been nothing but good for us. So we're excited about that, too.
Well, and too, Jim, when you look at that, I mean, particularly at that level, I mean, obviously, you look at, it's a 2-year school. They get 2 years. But any time that you can bring a guy, as you just said, in the Baines boys and Mitchell, guys that have played in this league, guys know, I mean, that just goes a long way to they can hopefully that these are the guys that are going to take these young these freshmen and say, hey, here's what it's going to take to win at this level. These are the things you got to do. This is what we're going to face. This is what we're going to see. This is what we've got to do. I mean, and particularly Mitchell, just knowing that the success that he has had on the basketball floor in general.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you too, and if you're looking at four guys that are already asking me, Coach, just let us know when recruits are coming in. I mean, they're that kind of guy. They all want to be helping. They've really found their niche, and they really enjoy being here and playing. And I think for me, just having those guys to say, really, you're going to come up here and meet the recruits? You bet. So that's kind of nice. And to even think about, we haven't even dropped the ball yet in a real game, and we're already clearing cap space for next year. It's just like, I mean, that's the parts you got to keep ahead of it. Well, it's just like that's been the big thing.
Yeah, and then there's one guy that I look on here, and as I was looking down your roster, it was a guy that was really kind of he just kind of was in the wings, and it's his Joel Pease from West Fargo. Made a big shot in the state tournament, and I mean, comes in, brings some decent size to you. But I mean, another guy there that probably is going to maybe give this team some help as well.
Absolutely. We love what Joel's doing right now. He had a little bit of time away, but he's back, and we've had a few bumps and bruises like everybody else, but we're back, we're recovered, and we're excited about that too, because he does bring that length. And I'm gonna tell you, look at a roster, that would be the biggest change for us. I mean, okay, you can say Deontay, we didn't bring in length, but we know what we brought in. But the other guys, the length, we're gonna be able to get out and guard some people a little better, and at least make them shoot over 6'6". And I think that's just going to help. But we know everybody in our league is able to get people and play, and we're, like I said, we're excited to get the ball dropped and rolling just like everybody else.
Yeah, and it sounds too, Jim, just in talking with you, it sounds like that you really you sound like you're really excited about this team and what this team is going to be able to bring to the floor. And it sounds like a team that really a group of guys that you highly suggest folks get a chance to get up to the Armory and watch this team go at it.
And going to have to come early because the girls have a great group of girls too.
Yep.
And so it's going to be, and it's not the biggest place, and we're going to be able to get some people in there, and I think it's going to be exciting because, of course, we're not going to walk the ball up the court. You know that, and that's junior college. You don't. So we're gonna be fast-paced, getting after it, but we're excited. And that we don't have the full games in November yet because after the tournament here, the 5th and 6th, we play the rest of the Mondac teams either home or away the next 2 weekends in November. So then our schedule will be full after that. But so we don't know who we're going to play at home after the first week. We will. So it'll be good. We'll get it out there, and we'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, as you get into action November 5th up at Lake Region, the Mondac Conference preview to pre-conference tournament. Should be a lot of fun up at Four Bears Casino. I know a good facility up there to play some basketball.
Yep, it's going to be a fun little trip for us.
Well, Jimmy, I can tell you what, I appreciate the time this morning, and you can be guaranteed that you and I are going to have this conversation, whether it's a month. I don't know. What do I got to give you? 2 months to get this figured out, or what do we got to do?
Yeah, hey, give me a couple months for crying out loud.
All right, we'll give you 2 months, Jimmy, and then we'll come back on and we'll see what the conversation goes like. But, hey, thanks for the time this morning. Best of luck to you. Looking forward to seeing this team, and take care and have a good rest of the weekend, all right?
All right. Hey, thanks for having me on. Anytime you can have me.
All right, you got it, buddy. Jim Jeske, the head coach of the Bismarck State men's basketball program, as they get set to do battle coming up November 5th, Lake Region State College. They will hold up at the Mondac pre-conference tournament. Well, that's going to put a wrap on another edition this morning. I got this. As a couple guys, we always like to get these kind of messages. Got some guys out hunting up north in the northwest part of the state, tuning us in on the PSP network. So, fellas, take care of yourself. Good luck. And, boy, I tell you what, stay safe is all I'll say based on this text message. But glad to have you aboard on the PSP network. I want to thank all of our guests, Taylor Teske from DLB, Nick Walker from Bowman County, also to Rick Newman, Todd Sheldon from Mandan, and Jim Jeske from Bismarck State College. Remember, this afternoon, we'll be on the air with you right around 1:40 as we make our way out to New Salem. It will be New Salem, Elmont, and Mott Regent, New England, right here on the PSP network. So tune in. Should be a lot of fun. Also, we'll have one for you again tonight, as well as it'll be up in Hazen and Minot Ryan from Herb Parker Stadium. Until next time, Scott Woodmansee saying so long from the Stadium Lodge.
This has been a presentation of the PSP Network. We thank you for listening to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee, live from the stadium. Make sure to head to the social media platforms for the PSP Network to like and follow, to stay up to date with all things sports in Western North Dakota. PSP Network, it's game day.